Auzubillahiminashaitanirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear students, few days back we discussed the first part of the future tense, that is the future simple and the future continuous tense. Today we will try to clear the last portion of this tense, that is the future perfect tense as well as the future perfect continuous tense. Now first of all, what actually future perfect tense is? Future perfect tense is used, rather we can say future perfect tense is that tense which is used for an action which will have finished by some future time, by some future period of time or point of time, or something which will have finished before another action starts in future. That means there are 2 points in future perfect tense. First one is that is an action which will have finished, that means completed action. We are in present, but we are talking about the future and the completion of an action. That means today we are talking about, like we can say, next month, next year. When will we complete that very action? We are deciding here that by the time, yeah, by the Monday we will have completed this assignment. That is future perfect tense. That means we are talking about today. We are deciding here when this action will have completed. Point 1. Point 2, when we have two actions, as usual, when we have two actions, one action that is the future perfect tense and the another action that is and another action would be that is present simple. Future perfect tense, that is the earlier action, while as the present simple, that is the later action which interrupts the future perfect tense. For example, I shall have finished this job by 7 o'clock. That means still 7 o'clock is to come. But here I shall have finished this job, completed this assignment by 7 o'clock. Point 1. I shall have finished this job by the time you arrive. Point 1 refers to an action which will have completed by some future time. Point 2, an action that will have completed by some period of time before another action starts. That is, I shall have finished this job by the time you arrive. By the time you arrive, that is the later action, while as I shall have finished this job, that is the we can say future perfect action. That is future perfect tense action. I shall have finished this job by the time you arrive. That means when you arrive, I will have completed this assignment. That is the future perfect tense. Now the structure. In structure, subject will oblique shall plus have plus the third form of verb plus the object. That is the general structure of this future perfect tense. Example: I shall have done the work before next Friday. That's the deadline. I shall have done the work before next Friday. That means before next Friday, I shall have completed that work. That we are talking about today. We are talking today about the future, when to complete that assignment. Next, she will have cleaned the room before you reach. She will have cleaned the room before you reach. That means before you room, she will have cleaned. Next, that is, it will have finished this book by next month. Yeah, I will have finished this book by next month. That is the target. By next month, I will have finished this book. Yeah, in other words, I shall have completed the Qurani Pak by Ramzan. That means in the month of Ramzan, I will have completed the Qurani Pak. That is, we decided today what, when, about the completion of action in future by some point of time or period of time. Now some uses. Use number 1, that is to denote an action that will have completed at some point, sometime in future before another action starts. That means two actions are there. One is that is future perfect tense, and the other action is that is future present simple. One is the earlier action, that is future perfect. Other is the later action that interrupts the earlier action, that is present simple. Now some examples. The patient will have recovered from the illness by next month. That is the target. The patient will have, we are talking about today about the next month. That is, the patient will have recovered from the illness by next month. She will have learned to Hindi before she moves to India. She will have learned to Hindi before she moves to India. That means she is in somewhere else, but she will have to learn Hindi before she moves to India. That is future perfect tense at some point of time in future. About the completion. At the same time, about the completion of an action. Next is indicates the completion of action by a certain future time. Like they will not have seen us. They will not. When we go there, they will not have seen us. When we go there, they will not have seen us. He will not have received the letter. I think he will not have received the letter because of some problem, because of lockdown, because of something else. He will not have received the letter. She will not have brought her papers. She will not have brought her papers. She will have cooked dinner. When I came, she will have cooked dinner. When I come, she will have cooked dinner. We will have met him. We will have met him. And there are many more examples. Because of the lack of time, we can't express each and every example here, but these are some examples which will clear you about the future perfect tense. In general, future perfect tense is that type of tense in which action will have been completed, action will have completed before some point or period of time in future, and some next point is action will have completed before another action starts. These are the two important points about the future perfect tense, and there are many more examples, many more, unlimited examples, endless examples. Now the next point, that is the future perfect continuous tense. Next and the last portion of this tense chapter, tense part. Future perfect continuous tense. What is, first of all, what actually is future perfect continuous tense? Future perfect tense is that part of tense, that part of future tense which is used to denote an action that will be going on till some point of time or for some period of time in the future. Future perfect tense means the completion of an action, while as the future perfect continuous means the continuity of an action. That means that will be going on in some period of time, for some period of time or point of time in the future. That means the main point in future perfect continuous is emphasizes the continuity of time, continuity of an action, emphasizes the continuity of an action up to a certain point of time in the future. That means future perfect tense is used when we emphasize the, like we can say the action starts in the present or past, but when we talk about, when we talk about the future perfect, when we talk about the future perfect continuous tense, we talk about the emphasis, emphasizes the continuity of an action up to a certain point of time in the future. We talks about the emphasize the time amount. That means, like some examples, by 6 o'clock I will have been sitting here for 10 hours. That is the emphasize. That means that action starts in the present or past, but I have been here for 10 hours. That is the emphasize, that continuity of an action. That is the amount of time we are talking about. Next, by December, like I joined this institution, I joined this company in the month of March, but by December he will have been working here for 10 months. By December he will have been, that is the emphasize the time amount. That is very important in future, but because we use sinus or for to measure the amount or period of time, period or point of time. By December he will have been working here for last 10 months, and at the same time he is still working. And the structure of this future perfect continuous tense is, that is subject will shall plus have plus been plus the been, that is the form of be, plus the fourth form verb, that is in form of verb, plus object, and plus since and for to denote the point or period of time. Example, I will have been reading whole Quran Majid by the month of Ramzan. I will have been reading whole Quran Pak by the month of Ramzan. Yeah, by the month of Ramzan, I will have been reading the Quran Pak. And at the same time, uh, by the end of next week, I will have been working here for last 2 hours. By the end of next week, that's the amount of time which we are emphasizing. Next, that is the uses. What are the uses of future perfect continuous tense? That is the used when an action is to continue till some point of time or for some period of time in the future. The main point is emphasizes the continuity of an action. The main point is talking about the emphasizes the continuity of an action, emphasizes the time from the start till date, how much time we spend that very company, yeah, how much time we spend in that job. For example, by the end of 2030 we will have been flying planes. It is just a speculation, it is just a prediction, but by the end of 2030, by the end of 2000 we will have been flying in planes. By March 2020 I will have been serving in BHSS Kralpura for last 5 years. By March 2020 I will, that means I had joined this institution in March 2016, but by March 2020, that is the amount we are talking about, emphasizes the action starts in the past and we are talking about the future, and the action is continuing, action is going on. By March 2020 I will have been serving this institution for last 5 years. Next point is, that is, by the time you arrive, I will have been working here for last 10 hours. By the time you arrive, that is the second action. And also in the present future perfect continuous tense, when we talk about two actions, one action is in future perfect continuous tense action, and the other action is future present simple. Always remember, in future one action would be in present simple and the other action would be in the concerned tense. That is present future perfect continuous tense, and the other is one action future perfect continuous tense would be the earlier action, while as present simple would be the later action that interrupts the future action, future perfect continuous tense. Next, by the year 2020 I will have been living here for 30 years. That means in I have been in Shumnag from since past, since long. But we are talking, we are measuring the amount of time. By the year 2020, I will have been living here for 30 years. That is the amount of time. I hope to somehow it will clear the doubts about the tense. And this was actually the last portion of that tense part. Inshallah, in my next video lecture, we will discuss about the tense chart. And afterwards, we will discuss the other points. Thank you.